And welcome everyone to a Big Ten Network chat. I'm Andy Katz. Please be joined by Penn State's Jim Ferry. And Jim, you guys have won 3 of 4, 3-3 since you came off the pause. But I'd look more at the 3 of 4 after
So do I.
Wisconsin. At home, first of a back-to-back with the Badgers, heading to Madison. This was a rescheduled game, a game actually I thought I was going to do at some point. That was supposed to be earlier in January. So. At this juncture, where things are turning in the right direction, where is this team?
Well, you know what? I think we're getting better, and I think it's stuff that I talked about before. We just hadn't had enough games compared to everybody else in our league. We were short by 4 or 5 games, and we never really got in that flow. Having that pause when we had it. We were coming off playing a tough game at Indiana. We played well. We lost in overtime. Then all of a sudden we were basically shut down for like 17 days. And it's just so hard to get back in the groove when you're not playing. And during our pause, we didn't do anything. We had our guys separated. We weren't coming into the gym. We really had to, so-called stop the bleeding. And then it was a matter of us getting games under our belt. Like there's only so much you can do in practice. And I think we've seen that. Like, okay, we didn't play great against Purdue, very rusty. Illinois really beat us pretty good at their place. But those games, I saw us getting better in those games. And it was really important that we played those games to get us in that game rhythm finally. Because even prior to the pause, we had a game 10 days off, just because of uncontrollables, So I think we're starting to see, we've had to make some adjustments, but we're able to put them to a test during games now. And I think you see our teams getting better every single day. It's stuff that we've seen as a coaching staff, and now it's playing out during games.
Well, the other thing, too, is that you're getting a leading scorer or a go-to player. Last, I think, 3 games, a different player, which obviously shows the diversity of scoring. And for a coach, the ability to sort of lean on the hot hand and not just go, not that you, of course, would love to have Lamar Stevens back, but not lean on someone exclusively.
Yeah, and that's, a very good observation, because as a coaching staff, we had only had 6, 8 games, maybe 7 games. You don't even know who your team is by that when you have 8 games. I really don't even start looking at stats until 6 games. So we had to figure out what pieces fit, what is going to be our rotation, who plays well together. And we didn't have that normal preseason. We didn't even have a normal schedule for this year compared to everybody else. So I think we're really starting to get that and starting to come together. And the guys are figuring it out. We're figuring out each other. We're figuring out what lineups we need to play at certain times, what defenses we need to play with those lineups. So I think it's actually starting to come together right now. And, the focus still has to be on getting better every day in practice, whether we're doing stuff on the floor or we're doing stuff in the film room. It's a focus on getting better.
So the back-to-back, what a majority of conferences are actually dealing with this season, although it's been at one site, not necessarily back-to-back flipping campuses. Obviously you've coached at different levels. I don't know how often you've done this before, but what's the prep like having that same opponent on back-to-back games?
Well, obviously it is a little different because you just played them. You just put together the scouting report. It's fresh in the players' minds. But today you're going up against, Wisconsin. We got to play them again. Great team. Greg's a great coach. They're an experienced team. They're going to make adjustments. We have to go back, break down the tape, and see what we did well, and then see what we didn't do well, and obviously make some adjustments. And it's going to have to be quickly. But I think what makes it a little bit easier is that the personnel is already in the guys' minds. It's not like you got to refresh them. We will do it over again. And as a staff, we are going to approach it the same way. We are going to go back and see what we did right, see what we did wrong, see what we got right, see what we got wrong. Was there any new twists that are in there? And then things that we need to make an adjustment to, against whether, the way they've guarded us certain ways that maybe were unexpected, or us guarding them certain ways. So I think it's a little bit quicker, obviously, because it has to be, and he just played them. But, as a staff, we're going to sit down and put the whole thing together just from scratch.
And Jim, I don't want to get ahead of myself here because there's a long way to go. And, certainly Maryland, I think, felt this too when they had those 3 great road wins, and then you come home and lose, and sort of sets you back a little. But the beauty of this league this season, as much of a gauntlet, you're almost never out of anything, that you've got so many opportunities. How much does that help with these guys, especially everything you've gone through, that every one of these games could end up helping you potentially getting into the postseason because they're all highly ranked games.
Yeah, well, that's what's great about this conference. It's the best conference in America by far. The opportunities, yes, and you can't look forward and you can't look back, and that's what we've talked about. And especially with this group, with all the stuff these guys have been through, my message to these guys, since I was named interim, was just, we got to stay present. We have to stay present because there's just too much going on. You can't look back. You can't look forward. And in this league, if you don't stay present, you're going to get whacked. It's incredible. I mean, if we feel great about ourselves just because we beat Wisconsin, well, the next game is brutal, and for us, it's Wisconsin again, but it's that type of league. So you have to stay present. What you do have to understand, like you said, is every game is opportunity. Every single game in this league is opportunity. And that's kind of been our approach. So, like I thought our guys showed great character coming off that Illinois loss. Illinois really guarded us well. They outplayed us. They were better than us tonight. They beat us pretty good. We were able to come back and win the next game. Well, same with the Ohio State game. Like that was a crushing loss. We played well enough to win on the road against a top 10 team in the country. We lost, basically had a shot to put it into overtime. We lost. You could be devastated and allow that game to affect your next game. But if we call it Big Ten mental toughness, where, okay, it's over. Move on. Let's learn from it. Got to get ready for the next one. And our guys showed a lot of character and a lot of connectiveness to come back from a loss like that, a tough one, and then turn around and beat a great Wisconsin team. So that's what this league is, man. And if you approach it the right way, you're going to give yourself an opportunity and a chance every night.
And lastly, Jim, I know you got 2 to make up. At Nebraska, home Michigan. Michigan's still on the pause with the new variant in Ann Arbor. So I know you don't know when those games are yet, but you had told me a couple of weeks ago that you'd be willing to play whenever, even if it meant, 4 games in 7 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Now that you're in the throes of it, in the hopes of trying to make up those games. We don't know if you can, but if you can, how open are you to whenever they come, they come?
Yeah, I think not only am I open to it, our players, they just want to play. And I think all the programs are the same. The Big Ten has done a great job. I mean, probably the best in the country of being able to move quickly, make changes. I mean, the schedule flips that had to happen when all this was going on with programs like Michigan State, Michigan, and us, and they've done a fantastic job. And everybody just communicates. Everybody's been really flexible. Coaches have been great. I mean, the communication between everybody, Fred calling me, I'm speaking to Jawan. Everybody's just making sure everybody's okay and the welfare of the teams, the coaches, and the players. So everybody's just willing to, like, hey, man, the kids want to play. We'll play them. So if we got to play back-to-backs like we're doing, we're going to do it, and I think everybody feels the same way about it.
Appreciate it, Jim. Stay safe.
Andy, thanks a lot. You too, buddy. Hope to see you soon.